And recently, we just set up handle the issue of relay coordination, and that committee is presently working. We are expecting the report very soon.
How has the region benefited from TCN ongoing reform?
The Port Harcourt region has benefited a lot from this rehabilitation and reinforcement of TCN project. Let me tell you some of the ones that we have commissioned and in service. Such includes a 60 MVA transformer in Aba 132, 40 MVA Mobitra, specific. We've also the 150 MVA transformer has also been completed in Afam. That's 150 330 stroke 132 in Afam has been completed, and currently we are working at Ikem in Akwa Ibom State, a brand new station 2 by 60 MVA 132 stroke 33 kVA transformer. So this region has benefited from the ongoing rehabilitation and reinforcement of substations. And there are other proposed projects that are coming in, like the 100 MVA in Port Harcourt MEM, 100 MVA in Port Harcourt town. The reconductoring or reconstruction, if I want to put it that way, of Onitsha Aloji 330 kV line. Actually, that line is going to be a cord line to help us wheel power from around this area. As you know, we have a lot of generations around this area into the grid.
What are the challenging projects in your region?
One of the most challenging projects we've executed here is the 60 MVA transformer we installed at Afaobe in Uyo. We were able to deliver that project within 2 weeks, and we had to mobilize from all the region, and also we got support from headquarters to install that transformer, and we were working day and night to be able to meet this up. So for me, that was the most challenging, and we delivered.
We're bringing you more reports in the Power Flash segment. Please don't go away.
My name is Mrs. Ajala Olushola. I'm one of the food vendor for the school, home-grown school feeding. This is where I do my cooking every morning before I take the food to school. I heard of it from the media. It was announced that those who are interested should apply. And I applied for it, I was screened, then I was chosen to serve. Then the financial aspects of it, I now benefit from it, unlike when I was idle at home. Apart from that, the homegrown school feeding has exposed me to meeting a lot of people. Thereby, my own business as a caterer can now increase where I'm now connected to a lot of people.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at
Hello there, very good evening. It's another Wednesday night, another News Extra night. Hope the midweek is ending for you on a positive note. Tonight, the President returns from COP24 and the Federal Executive Council plans extra session this week. Find out why. The nation is back in business after staff picketed on Tuesday. On the political scene, APC chairman seeks politics without bitterness as PDP takes presidential campaign to Kwara State. These plus other stories on the 2019 elections. Are you aware that the National Sports Festival is about to begin in Abuja?
Success story of financing environmentally sustainable projects through the Green Bond on the sidelines of the Climate Change Conference. Nigeria is indeed amongst the first 2 countries in the world to embrace the issuance of Green Bond as an innovative and alternative source of funding projects that will reduce emissions and provide robust climate infrastructure. These are in the areas of renewable energy, low-carbon transport, water infrastructure, and sustainable agriculture that the country needs.
A number of countries are keen to learn from Nigeria's experience, and they came up to Mr. President to agree on a process of us transferring our experience to them.
At COP24, Nigeria has also been able to raise global awareness on the serious environmental and security challenges facing the Lake Chad region.
To understand the crisis and to express a willingness to help to support in finding a solution to the crisis, and that's I think the main objective, and I would say a successful objective.
The Italian government has agreed to support the finalization of the feasibility study for the interbasin transfer with the grant of 1.5 million euros, and they actually kept their promise. Bottom line is we have no other option of saving Lake Chad than interbasin transfer of water from the Congo Basin into the lake. Technically feasible for the benefit of over 40 million people.
Some of the governors on the entourage of President Muhammadu Buhari to the climate summit in Poland say a lot has been learned to impact on their efforts at protecting and preserving the environment for a sustainable future.
Climate change is real, Unfortunately, some people don't see it that way. With regards to Niger, I can tell you, flying over Niger, you can clearly see the desert encroachment. Our Niger used to be green. We used to have rivers flowing all year round. But these days, we have heavy floods during rainy season. And yet, during dry season, our rivers dry up. Even River Niger is being threatened with climate change. We put in place a strong task force to address tree felling and people burning down forests and what have you. And at the moment, we're having a program to start planting trees. I hope it will reduce some of the effects of desert encroachment and floods.
Kogi State is not left out. You're aware of the flood of 2012 and this year as well. So it is what everybody must put hands on deck, especially the developed world, to ensure that emissions are reduced to the barest minimum. And we in our various states will continue to do our best to ensure that we take care of the nature. Because when you take care of the nature, nature will take care of you. We're doing our best, and we're calling on all the world leaders and every government at all levels to do their best to ensure that we're environment friendly and ensure that the people are well educated how to go about it in a very smart way.
President Muhammadu Buhari has since returned to Abuja. Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
A special session of the Federal Executive Council meeting has been slated for Friday this week. The Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the President, Femi Adesina, says the intention is to look into the 2019 budget and get the proposals approved by the Federal Executive Council for transmission to the National Assembly as the National Sports Festival opens in Abuja on Thursday. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports on this and other deliberations at the Federal Executive Council's meeting today in Abuja.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is presiding over this Federal Executive Council meeting, where deliberations are on roads, rail, transportation, and sports. Power Works and Housing Minister Babatunde Fashola presents and gets a cost revision memorandum on Shigudu Oweto Bridge, approved by the Council.
The importance of the local Oweto Bridge, which we have substantially now completed, is that it is the bridge that links the north and south of Nigeria. Unlike the old Niger Bridge and the second Niger Bridge, which link the east and the west. And this road will substantially, linking the bridge, reduce journey time from that part of the country and the eastern part of Nigeria.
The ministry says it's taking measures for challenges that may arise during the busy festive period of December.
Mine is that we awarded the National Freight Office in Jibia for the sum of 551 million naira, 810,060 naira, and the contract is to last for 36 weeks. You know, the National Freight Office is usually located at the border post. So the border post between Katsina and I think Niger Republic, I think so. That's where it's located.
Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Solomon Dalung, says the nation's sportsmen and women performed creditably in their outings this year, and that the federal government will soon roll out drums to celebrate them.
The NYC and the National Sports Festival were post-war legacies established to promote national integration and unity of the country. These two had played a very strong role in keeping the unity of this country together. We can afford to toy with everything, but certainly not these three institutions.
In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Now, there is this joyful feeling that comes with the recovery of a debt owed local contractors previously regarded as bad debt. Now, that reaction appears to be on the way for those contractors who are owed by the previous administration. This is because the Senate has approved the request of President Muhammadu Buhari for the payment of inherited local debts from the past administration. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Onko has the details.
Of this very distinguished Senate,
Mr. President had written to the Senate requesting the approval of promissory note program and bond issuance to settle inherited local debts and obligations due to various categories of creditors who have completed federal government projects, including state governments. The executive communication was referred to a Senate ad hoc committee. After thorough consideration, the committee recommended that the request be approved.
the Senate do approve a promissory note program and bond issuance in the sum of 102,297,724,098.24 as a refund to states for projects executed on behalf of the federal government.
We need to understand that this has been outstanding for a very long time.
This lack of payment to these companies had actually hampered them because the funds the state raised to pay these contractors had actually affected development at the grassroots.
Those supporting this recommendation say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The Senate has passed 5 bills seeking to establish 5 tertiary institutions. These are the Federal Polytechnics in Enugu State, Kwale, Delta, Kaltungo, Gombe State, City University of Technology, Auchi, Edo State, and Federal College of Education, Ekiti State. Other bills also seeking to establish tertiary institutions were passed for second reading. Senator Ahmadu Abubakar sponsored the School of Mines and Geological Studies, Adamawa State Establishment Bill. The bill for the establishment of the Federal University of Aquatic Studies, Anambra State, was sponsored by Senator Stella Odua, while the National Commission for Teachers Education Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Jibrin Barau, was also passed for second reading.
The existence of a sound and robust educational system in any country is predicated on the availability of sound teachers at all levels.
The Senate Committee on Works has screened Chidi Izuwa, nominee for appointment as Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the Infrastructure Concession and Regulatory Commission.
Just try to maintain the good work and come up with a better vision for these organizations.
Well, after screening of a nominee by the respective committee, the report of that committee will now be presented at plenary, where members of the Senate will make input of either to confirm or reject the nomination. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Onko, NTA News.
Now, the imperative of balancing wealth distribution across all segments of the society cannot be overemphasized. It was against this background that the House of Representatives passed at second reading a bill that will amend the Public Procurement Act to make it easier for disadvantaged groups to benefit from the nation's wealth. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on this and other legislative proceedings.
The bill seeks to amend the Public Procurement Act to make it mandatory for 20% of federal government's procurements in a financial year to be awarded to economically disadvantaged groups such as youths and other categories so recognized.
Are those that belong to this economic disadvantaged group. The unemployed youths that we have all over the Federation.
What will solve our problem is for us as Parliament to strengthen our oversight and query people when they will appropriate funds, and you won't have up to 20% implementation in our budget.
It is a social intervention bill. It is in line with the policy of my party and the policy of this government.
Representative Lowell Gerber, on behalf of Chairman House Committee on Banking and Finance, Jones Chukudi, presented 4 reports before the House, one of which is a bill for an act to repeal the Foreign Exchange Act. The lawmakers also adopted a motion by Representative Muhammad Sani Zoro on the need for the bicameral legislature to intervene in industrial matters pertaining the national minimum wage, the ongoing strike by Academic Staff Union of Universities, and the recent impasse between managements of the National Assembly and parliamentary staff.
The dispute between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities has been a protracted one. Hardly will there be a year in or out that the Academic Staff Union of Universities will not roll its members on an industrial action.
At the commencement of plenary Wednesday, 3 newly elected members, Abubakar Yahya from Katsina, Yusuf Nuhu from Bauchi, and Olani Rahim Tunji from Kwara, were sworn in to fill vacant seats at the House of Representatives. The Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, brought to the notice of members the defection of Representative Gabriel Onyinmife of Anambra State from APGA to PDP. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And moving on to politics. Now, play politics in line with democratic practices and principles, devoid of character assassination. These were the words of APC National Chairman Adams Oshiomhole when he played host to some APC women groups in Abuja. Ahead of the 2019 polls, the APC chairman is optimistic that the party under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari has distinguished itself in terms of all-round development, which is increasing the party's support base daily. Political correspondent Salihu Abdullahi was there and now reports.
The mission of these women groups is to acknowledge the purposeful leadership being displayed by the APC-led government and expressed their unalloyed support to ensure success for the party in the 2019 polls. From 2019,
and 18 AGM and conference in Abuja ahead of the 2019 general elections. Emmanuel Ayimiro was there in our reports.
Since the inception of democracy in 1999, the concern of the common man has been the inability of the political class to keep electoral promises while in office, which is gradually eroding public confidence in governance. This is the worry of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, probing why a country governed by professionals still struggling with good governance.
I think where we derailed was the point at which PR ceased to be a part of decision-making process, and the NIPR is going to actually continue to drive the process of ensuring that our system is fully backed up by public relations inputs.
I'd like to let you know that professionals in our very office we have what you call ethics of our profession, but I don't think professional politicians, they don't believe in ethics at all. It's just to go into politics for selfish gains.
You know, professional politicians, that's their only job. But for professional, you go into public to add value. And when you leave, you go back to your job.
To repose public confidence in governance, political parties and candidates are expected to tell Nigerians how they intend to fix roads, create jobs, and other plans in their manifestos, while the media and public relations practitioners hold government accountable. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Protesters under the name Forum of Non-Governmental Organizations of Nigeria are asking the United States Embassy in Nigeria not to issue visa to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. The group this Wednesday morning protested at the U.S. Embassy in Abuja. Makut Simon Macham has the details.
The group was at the U.S. Embassy to register its displeasure over claims that the embassy is entertaining visa requests from former Vice President and PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar.
We are here to appeal to American government, to American embassy, not to grant former Vice President Atiku Abubakar any visa to enter America at this auspicious period in time.
The group's convener, Wole Batmos, says issuing a visa to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who they claim has corruption allegations in the United States, could amount to interference in 2019 general elections.
What we are saying is that former Vice President Atiku has been denied visa for 14 years. Why is it now, on the eve of election, that they want to grant that visa? Yes. We are smelling rats, and we are saying that they want to use the name of America to scoreship political growth. That is why we are here to say that America should not fall for that prey. A day after the election, they can grant visa to whoever they like.
Although this petition was not handed over to any particular officer from the U.S. Embassy, nevertheless, the group presented its petition to the members of the media present and says it has already sent a copy to the ambassador. From the U.S. Embassy here in Abuja, Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
Deliberations at the ongoing third UNWTO UNESCO conference in Istanbul, Turkey, continued with the sessions focusing on how to advance global partnership for sustainable development of culture and tourism. Correspondent Anthony Forson now reports.
Examining how cities around the world, with emphasis on those within UNESCO identified class, are taking innovative approaches by using culture and the creative sector to achieve sustainable, inclusive and balanced development through tourism was the agenda. Gillian Wilkinson McDaniel from Jamaica and Dennis Baggs, senior program specialist from UNESCO, made their submission with emphasis on Nigeria.
We actually do have quite a number of assets from UNESCO designations that we have been leveraging and capitalizing on. And the Blue and Jonker Mountains as a World Heritage Site. Not as many as Nigeria, but still.
Creative industries, culture industries are really also the future for each country, and I know that Nigeria, above all in the field of film industry, cinema, and I would like also to underline the power of that sector and the power also of cities.
For Lai Mohammed, Nigeria's quest for the development of the sector is in the right direction.
So really, tourism actually, eradicates poverty. Tourism actually goes down to the people, it goes down to the ground and improves the quality of life of the people.
Going forward, how this sector can be harnessed, strengthened and imbibe cultural tourism by way of creating a synergy as well as protect cultural heritage, however, remained the watchword. From Istanbul in Turkey, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And back home, National Sports Festival gets underway. Sports Ministry waiting in the wings. The details of these are more after the break.
The Good Governance Ambassadors of Nigeria, GOGAN, invites the good people from Northwest, including all APC candidates, to the GOGAN rally for President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. The rally will take place on Saturday, 8th December 2018 at the Sani Abacha Stadium, Kano by 10 a.m. Special guest of honor, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari. Guest of honor, His Excellency Adams Oshiomhole. Chief host, His Excellency Abdullahi Ganduje. Host, all governors from the Northwest Zone. Keynote address to be delivered by His Excellency Ibrahim Shekarau and Senator Kabiru Gaya.
My resignation letter, sir.
Glow Ogasin, the unrivaled big boss of data. Get 125% bonus on all data plans. Also enjoy unconditional 25% data bonus non-stop on all auto renewals. Dial *777# to choose a plan.
The Chairman, Conference of Speakers, Right Honorable Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa, invites all stakeholders to the 3rd Quarterly General Meeting of the Conference of Speakers of State Legislatures of Nigeria. Date, Saturday, 8th December 2018. Time, 9 a.m. Venue, Multipurpose Hall, Government House, Maiduguri, Borno State. The conference will be declared open by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Alhaji Kashim Shettima. Honorable Speaker, Borno State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Abdul Karim Lawan, Announcer.
E no be like before again o. Now many more Nigerians dey suffer inside poverty. They no fit get better food, better house, better education and healthcare. Unlike 20 years ago. As e be so, now to dey encourage families to born the number of pikin wey dem fit take care of, so that dem go comot dem family and themselves from poverty and reduce economic hardship. Thank God for family planning or childbirth spacing. With am, plenty families go fit dey live better lives. As leader wey you be, the solution dey your hand, and wetin you need to do na to take action now. All we lawmakers and make people them must make sure say them put enough money down. We go make sure say childbirth spacing services, where plenty people they also call family planning services, go reach everybody. Our pastors, imam, and traditional leaders suppose open mouth to tell them people about the better thing. We family planning did. We must join hand and get it together. Make our future for bright. Now, Federal Ministry of Health, they bring on this message.
Enjoy free 250 MB every week just by recharging on Airtel Recharge Plus. Dial *479# to know more.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The House Committee on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Value is conducting a one-day public hearing for a bill for an act to amend the National Broadcasting Commission Act, Cap N11, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, to strengthen the commission and make it more effective to regulate broadcasting in Nigeria and to ensure that all television and cable services run education programs in line with school syllabi and curricula and for related matters. Date: Thursday, 6th December 2018. Time: 10 a.m. Venue: Conference Room 028, House of Representatives, National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Stakeholders and the general public are hereby invited. Honorable Odebumi Olusegun Dokun, Committee Chairman, Announcer.
Since 1971, Nigeria's foremost human capital development institution, the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, has been at the forefront of equipping Nigerians with skills for national growth. Today's ITF has repositioned and refocused its programs, forging new partnerships locally and internationally to effectively deliver on its mandate. With 37 area offices and 5 industrial skills training centers across the country, ITF is pushing to reduce unemployment by providing relevant technical and vocational skills for employability and entrepreneurship in diverse trades and crafts. Whether you're a public or private organization seeking to improve the skills of your personnel or an individual looking to acquire skills that will increase your chances of employment or even to help start your own business, today's ITF has a program for you. Speak to us today. Contact our area offices nationwide or visit our website www.itf.gov.ng. ITF, developing the nation's human resource.
The Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, cordially invites all relevant stakeholders in the oil and gas industry to NUPENG's 40th anniversary celebration under the chairmanship of General Yakubu Gowon, theme Nigeria Oil and Gas Workers, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Lead paper presenter on local content in the Nigerian oil and gas industry, Barrister Femi Falana. Special guest of honor, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari. Guest of honor and chief launchers, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Excellency Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa. Chief host, Comrade Williams Akporega. Date 5th and 6th December 2018. Venue, International Conference Center, Abuja. Time, 12 noon. Comrade Adamu Song, General Secretary NUPENG, announcer.
We're glad to have you back with us. Now, with few hours to the commencement of the 19th edition of the National Sports Festival in Abuja tomorrow, Thursday, our correspondent, Kene Emma Abodike, x-rays the mood of stakeholders as the biennial event returns.
6 years after it was last held in Lagos in 2012, the National Sports Festival, which is Nigeria's flagship sporting fiesta, is back again with the 19th edition set to hold in Abuja December 6 to 16. However, arriving at the decision to domesticate the showpiece in the Federal Capital Territory, pending when states begin to show sufficient capacity to host the games in the future, has not been an easy one, but the show must go on for obvious reasons.
The objective is to give more Nigerians opportunities to be part of the fiesta and have a sense of belonging.
We believe also that sports can be for us a very formidable instrument for tourism, investment promotion and economic development.
Aside the main and local organizing committees, a handful of other sub-committees were set up to ensure hitch-free games in Abuja, with all aspects of organizational structures put into consideration. The process has so far proved worthwhile.
Registration is done. You know, the first one, the long list was about 14,000. After the registration, we came down to 8,259.
To the Thousand Thomases and to all Nigerians, the 19th National Sports Festival is hereby flagged off with this scientific congress.
Facilities at the two packages of the Abuja National Stadium, including the velodrome, are all in good shape for the games, as concerted efforts have been made to give the edifice a facelift.
We have been around now for over some days now and trying to do our best to ensure that we delivered on the job.
More than 8,000 athletes from 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory will compete in 40 sporting events in the 10-day showpiece. The athletes who begin to arrive Abuja Tuesday are being accommodated Abuja, Government Science Secondary School Maitama, Government Secondary School Gariki, and Government Secondary School Duse. The games are expected to produce potential athletes for Team Nigeria ahead of next year's All-African Games bid for Rabat, Morocco. In Abuja, Kenen Ima Abudike, NTA News.
Many thanks, Kene. And I'm now being joined in the studio by Olushade Adeshola, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Youth and Sports Development. We're glad to have you in the studio.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Now, we have just 3 hours away to the festival.
And that is
how prepared are we for the fiesta?
Yes, we are prepared. We are prepared to commence the 19th National Sports Festival.
Okay.
A visit to the stadium will convince all that we are making effort to start it. The athletes have started to arrive, like government. So please come to our aid and salvage sports development in Nigeria from extinction. The appeal of the council was conveyed to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari. He accepted that Abuja should host the 19th Sports Festival. So there and then, activities were flagged off.
Okay.
That is culminating to the opening ceremony.
So what is the response like?
The response has been very impressive.
Okay.
There is a process called pre-DRM registration. This is when states are invited to come and express their interest to participate. At that exercise, all the states of the Federation registered athletes. We had a total of 14,000 athletes registered. Now we come to the second stage, DRM stage, where states will now say, having participated in zonal eliminations, having trained my athletes at home, this is actually the number of athletes that I will field, and these are the sports that I will feature. At that exercise, 35 of the 36 states registered.
So what about the future of the games?
The future of the game, we, just as you mentioned it, we are more concerned of what happens after 2018. We know sport is capital intensive.
Right.
Therefore, to continuous dependence on government, it shows may be difficult to sustain. Therefore, we brought in a private sector partner into the game this year.
Thank you very much.
Greenfield asset. We believe that the intervention will assist us to sustain the game.
Thank you very much. Indeed, I'm sure Nigerians are looking forward to the festival commencing tomorrow. I've been speaking with the Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Olushade Adeshola. Moving on, producers of Africa's premium brand, Malta Guinness, have continued to exhibit care for their numerous customers through great excitement, introducing to the Lagos edition of Season 2 of the Malta Challenge. The event, which took place at the National Stadium, saw the emergence of the Lagos representative of the TV show. Gift George completes the story.
After producing finalists in 5 cities across Nigeria, Season 2 of the Malta Guinness Motivator Challenge TV show had 100 youths registered for the Lagos audition. The Motivator Challenge is a Pan-African platform through which Malta Guinness fuels the greatness of Africans in the TV game show. The show is searching for Nigerians with energy and brain power to show their greatness and represent the country at the Pan-African TV show, with 4 other countries' representatives.
We're trying to really enhance and endear into the minds of our consumers the need to be physically fit and also mentally alert. And this is what this show is really all about. So you need all of that to fuel your hustle on a daily basis, and of course backed with Malta Guinness to continue to fuel your greatness with all the energy-giving vitamins that is in it.
The Malta Guinness Motivator Challenge will comprise 40 contestants that will be challenged physically and mentally through various games and obstacles to produce the Pan-African Motivator.
It's an amazing initiative by Malta Guinness. I've been here. I actually partook in one of the challenges. It was an obstacle course. It was really good.
Apart from the physical benefits, it helps you mentally and psychologically too. And when you're done working out, you feel this rush, this highness.
The Lagos audition was full of thrills and side attractions as the 4 finalists for the Lagos zone emerged. They are Rufai Olasukomi, Edora Ogechukwu, Otobong Idareset, and Melvin Enoch.
With the turnout, I was beginning to have second doubts. I saw tall guys, I saw muscular guys, but I just kept my focus and I just kept pushing the mental challenges, the physical challenges. I kept my head basically.
It gives us an opportunity to show out what we have to do and what we know how best to do. I am so grateful that, yes, we are motivated and they motivated us to do what we can. So, thanks to Malta Guinness.
The eventual winner of the Motivator Challenge will walk away with the grand prize of $20,000, while everyone gets goodie bags, cash prizes, and an experience of a lifetime. In Lagos, Gifts George, NTA News.
The wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has dissociated herself from the fraud case following investigations of 2 of the fraud suspects under investigations by the Department of State Services DSS. Mariatu, who claims to be her sister, and Amina Muhammad, who is parading herself as an associate. The Director of Information to the wife of the President, Haruna Suleiman, made this known in a press release stating that Aisha Buhari does not run any form of business transaction in her office. Therefore, whoever does business in her name stands at his or her risk. He also stated that staff of her office found to engage in fraudulent dealings will face the wrath of the law. Now, 5,000 naira may do very little for the affluent, but for hundreds of thousands of indigent women who are beneficiaries of the conditional cash transfer, this sum a month can do a whole lot for the household. Cecil Ebele experienced firsthand how this government initiative is lifting the spirit of beneficiaries.
It's payday in Chukum local government area of Kaduna State, but it is not the usual wages and salaries earned for labor. This one is unique. I literally felt the excitement build as these women gathered for their monthly stipend of 5,000 naira. Apparently, the end result is worth the wait. On this day, I could not help but notice 80-year-old Aisha Abubakar. After just a few minutes of verbal engagement, I gathered she has no immediate family member and no source of support. The conditional cash transfer, it would seem, is a saving grace. Today, she hopes to collect for the 8th time, and the money has already been allotted to fixing the leaks on the roof of her hut and investing in her groundnut business.
I also used the money to trade in groundnut.
Aisha and many others here are full of praises and prayers for the government.
I'll tell them, say thank you. Thank you, Buhari. May God bless you.
Beneficiaries of the conditional cash transfer are drawn from a social register gathered from data of the poor communities in each state. And with certain parameters, the poorest are identified.
We have a device that has certain fields in it. Those fields are to enable us sort those who are not so poor, irrespective of what the community says. Because sometimes we have elite capture. People that are relatively wealthy in the community may be more influential. I may say in the focus group discussion, I belong there, I have those problems too.
The National Cash Transfer Program is ongoing in 27 states, but cash disbursement currently takes place in 20 states. In Abuja, Cecile Egbeli, NTA News.
Now, the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP, a market-based initiative which targets petty traders, is getting more buy-in. These days, petty traders in markets where the facility is up and running say soon there will be nothing petty about their businesses. Fisayo Ogunfoyi in this report gives us a peep at GEEP.
A common feature of the African market is haggling, cooperation, trade and exchange, and of course opportunity for development. Now it is this feature of the African market that the Nigerian government has latched upon to perhaps increase the odds of the smaller businesses and helping them grow by injecting capital that will help build these businesses. About 4 months ago, the Vice President launched the Trader Money Initiative right here at Utako Market in Abuja. 4 months on, we see that the traders are lining up to enjoy another injection of cash into their businesses. The real market faces are hardly the ones you remember after leaving the point of transaction. Yet, it is the petty trader in the lower rung of the trade pyramid who transmits the real pulse of the market. Yahya, the butcher with his meat and a prayer. Taju, who hawks smoked catfish and dares not eat even one if he wants to break even. Bukola and Miriam, who buy cereals and noodles for retail closer to the gates of the market, where Rita Ogu, a gifted cook, is bravely cutting her recipes while her business is close to the precipice.
People will come there buy market, the money will increase. So if I get the money, then they give me the 10,000 naira, I go join now about my market, about my business. Maybe my business will grow.
They come on Saturday, the first time when they come here, and they will text you a message. So when you receive the message, so that you give them, so that we see the message. After they see the message, there is code where they will just put inside. So they will see the money inside. The money is ready. I collected on Saturday 10,000.
There is a long queue desirous of joining Mustafa Adamu and other beneficiaries of government's Trader Money Initiative. It is a hands-up they plan to hold firmly as a lift from a shaky business footing to a sound financial pedestal. Text messages confirming activation and approval of a new installment of Trader Money lands in many phones here.
Number 004.
And like many good things, more hands are still up to be enrolled. In Abuja, Fisayo Ogunfoyi, NTA News.
In a similar vein, the federal government's social investment program is being described as the most ambitious in the history of the country. I have Namdi Odiko standing by to tell us more on this.
Indeed, one of the many things that make the social investment program of the federal government quite ambitious is the scope and, of course, the sheer number, huge number, I dare say, of the target beneficiaries. The program SIP has been structured to impact mostly on the most vulnerable and, of course, help improve the living standard and living condition of Nigerians. I have a three-man panel with me here to further shed light on this issue. Barrister Ismail Ahmed is the Senior Special Assistant to the President on the SIP. I've got Cecile Egbeli and Fisayo Ogunfoyi also standing by to shed more light on the issue. But of course, I'll begin with you, Barrister Ahmed. Of the four component units of the SIP, which would you say has been most impactful in terms of implementation?
I think all of the programs have impacted the most on the population. If you take the school feeding program, for example, where we're feeding 9.3 million children across 49,000 public primary schools in 26 states in this country, the humongous impact, the value chain that is added as a result of that, because we're not only feeding these children, we're feeding them through about 100,000 cooks who are basically rural women who had hitherto no jobs to do, who now have a source of income. And then this 100,000 cooks buy their foodstuff, which is homegrown, from local farmers that were hitherto into subsistence farming, who are now into some sort of semi-commercial farming. Not to talk about Empower. Empower, this is the single most successful, ambitious recruitment drive of any government or any institution in sub-Saharan Africa. 500,000 people, one fell swoop, that we pay 30,000 naira every month, 15 billion naira a month, not a single incident of fraud or death. It has never happened in this country. So the impact is immediate, it's humongous, and it's absolutely positive.
Cecil, I'll come to you now. You have been monitoring the disbursements of monies to beneficiaries for quite some time now. What expression do you see on the faces of these women during these exercises?
In one word, Namdi, euphoria. While in Nasarawa State during the re-enrollment exercise, I saw a family of 4. They're so poor that they cannot even afford one good meal a day, and not as little as a mattress in their bedroom. So staff of the social investment program say they have a criteria to decide who the poor are. And generally, I would say the people are really appreciative of the government's efforts.
Fisayo, you are the man on ground monitoring the JEEP, as it were, that's the government enterprise and empowerment program. In terms of, and of course the response has been quite massive, but in terms of payback, is there a structure for the reimbursement of monies already disbursed to beneficiaries? What do we have in place?
Yes, the structure is incentivized. That is, when you return the initial money given to you, you are graduated to more money. And that is, of course, a demonstration of the present administration's belief in the resilience of the Nigerian to multiply a good thing. That is, without much support, they've been doing this. Now, with more support, they will do more. And it is a concept, perhaps, that will have a ripple effect on the entire market. They call them the lower rungs of the trade pyramid. But a lot of people believe they are the oil that lubricates the pulse of the market.
Barrister Ahmed, thank you so much for speaking to us on these matters. Fisayo Cecil, thank you so much for investing your time. Well, social investment program of the federal government is still ongoing. We will be monitoring events as they unfold. It's back to you.
Thank you, Namdi. We'll take a short break now. There'll be more when we return in just a moment. Join us again.
Going up? Of course you are. And why not? With Glow Internet, built on Africa's largest wholly owned metro fiber network, the sky is, well, it is rather unlimited. Up is upbeat, seamless. Up is quick and easy access to all your favorite apps and entertainment. And there is no downside on a network committed to upping your fun and productivity. Get quick on the uptake, my friend, and upset the odds in your favor. Because on Glow, up isn't an upgrade. It is the upgrade. Going up?
Glow 4G LTE. These data plans are available to all new customers and existing customers who renew their plans. Dial *777#. Welcome to the new speed of life.
Nigeria we hail. Those who divide our people are getting better at their game. Yet, now we did do ourselves pass. Lecturer they oppress student them. Bus driver they show passenger where. Local government people are terrifying local government people. Campaign people will come and go. Grammar people will remain. So now, many people have become Uncle Thomases, unwilling to desire or work for a better nation. We must continue to push and believe, and small, our prayers will be answered. This education you go get down. These children, then go grow and prosper. And this business, they not go spoil for your hand, because Union Bank understands what it means to push through challenges, and together we go clear every doubt when they are our way. Don't be an Uncle Thomas. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
Expressions without words won't have it any other way. Moments will feel joy. Been lost in the moment, the freedom. You will find that's what's celebrating. Bring your moments alive. Find your satisfaction in the nourishing trend and sparkling. Let's celebrate a little ways, making big differences in the nourishing trend and sparkling.
Enjoy in red grape, white grape, peach variants, the Valletta sparkling fruit drink. Celebrate every moment.
I can't believe my girl graduated today.
Congratulations, Sadako.
Thanks, Dad. Do you know the neighbor's daughter already has a job lined up for her? Her parents are so happy.
Well, there's a few positions I'm looking at this moment.
And your CV?
You have to have a CV.
I've got that sorted.
Are you prepared for the interview?
Mommy!
When we get home, I will test you on the interview questions.
Great idea. Sounds like fun. You for your hustle by Google.
But the excitement is still on. Draw what you did in your holidays and you stand a chance to win your dream holiday. Follow 3 simple steps to enter. Step 1, draw your holiday experience. Step 2, snap a picture. Step 3, send picture, name and address to the WhatsApp number 0902 588 8888. Hurry! Go grab your Indomie packs now. Offer valid till stocks last. Terms and conditions apply. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
What's up?
His friends didn't come.
Hey, let's practice.
But you're going out.
Don't worry about me.
Nothing satisfies a mother more than seeing a child grow up. But I know as he sweats, he'll face the risk of germs which can cause skin irritation.
That's why you need the new best ever Dettol Cool. Its new advanced formulation with extra menthol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs and gives your family icy cool freshness.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
Activate your life, be who you want to be. It's now, 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 now. Come on, get active. Oh, yeah. Yes, you can do it if you try.
Start an active life with the power of vegetables and fruits. Chivita Active. Be active. Do more.
You're glad to have you back with us. We now join Abolade Salami for business news in our Lagos studio.
Thank you, Fatima. Welcome to Business News. The anti-corruption fight of the present administration has led to the recovery of over $500 billion siphoned by some corrupt officials over the years. The anti-corruption crusade, which introduced the whistleblower policy, recovered some looted funds, including 13.8 billion naira from tax evaders, 7.8 billion naira, $378 million, and 27,800 pounds recovered from public officials. Stakeholders attribute this achievement to political will of the federal government to rid the nation of all forms of corrupt practices.
Prosecution that has been produced, including, sending high-profile, persons, political exposed persons to jail, like 2 former governors and a former senior advocate of Nigeria. It has never happened before. And again, in terms of, the quality of international agreement that have been signed, notably with United Arab Emirates and UK, France, and some other, in order to repatriate our stolen funds and then share intelligence, as well as ensure that there is cooperation at all levels internationally, because
taxpayers have been charged to brace up to the current economic reality of shifting from oil to other sectors of the economy. The need for taxpayers to be more compliant has therefore become imperative to boost the revenue base. Tax expert Obatola Ulugbenga says proper enlightenment and education of taxpayers will encourage citizens to understand the benefit of taxation.
encourage tax evasion. What government will do is just to encourage people to do what? To do what they are supposed to do within the confines of the law. And if you are able to manipulate that, you are still okay. And mind you, you see, the latitude or the degree of tax avoidance, you only tell you shows what? Shows the what? The inefficiency of the tax system. I mean, of the drafters of the tax.
The bullish run on the Nigerian Stock Exchange continues. Let's join Nina Musa for updates.
Welcome to Stock Market Report. The NSE All-Share Index retained its bullish run, appreciating by 0.47% to close at 31,151.68 basis points, with 198 million worth of shares traded midweek, valued at 2.30 billion naira, which traded at 2,845 deals. The market capitalization closed at 11.37 trillion naira. On the gainers list, Dangote Cement, Stanbic and Flour Mill topped the chart, while Seplat, CCNN and International Breweries sat on the losers list. The NSC Bank, Consumer Goods and Oil and Gas sectors all closed in the red, depreciating by minus 1.02%, 0.18% and 0.61% respectively, while NSC Insurance and Industry closed in the green. That concludes Stock Market Report. Back to you, Abolade.
Thank you, Nina. And the news continues with Fatima in Abuja. Good evening.
Thank you, Abolade. Now, Saka has again come the way of internally displaced persons in Benue State as the team from MTN Global Season of Surprises have donated relief materials worth millions of naira to them. Our correspondent reports that the team visited the Abagana camp in Makodi.
The camp, which accommodates about 16,000 internally displaced persons displaced by herdsmen attack in Benue State, were elated to receive the team of MTN Global Season of Surprises. The leader of the team, Echimere Emaku, said they were in the IDP camp to identify with the displaced persons, particularly as the organization uses the season to positively affect lives.
We cannot say that we know fully what everyone has experienced, but what we can say is that we identify with you and we know how you feel. MTN Season of Surprises is one of the ways by which MTN touch lives.
The representative of the Benue State Emergency Management Agency, James Yokia, expressed gratitude and thanked MTN for choosing displaced persons in Benue State as part of their global season of surprises.
We are so happy that we will have big places that you can choose to go and make your celebration so that it will be known. But you have chosen us with the IDPs who have lost our hope.
Children were visibly excited as they received loads of foods, drinks, and other assorted material from the team. Earlier, the Makudi, His Royal Highness Chief Sule Abenga, received the team at his palace where they came to pay homage. 2018 marked the 4th edition of MTN Season of Surprises.
Now, the oil and gas industry is the heartbeat of the Nigerian economy, both in revenue generation and job creation. I can't hear any contrary opinion, but this prized industry has been dominated by foreigners, both in skilled and unskilled labor. The good news is that conscious efforts are being made to reverse this foreign dominance and to ensure local participation. I'm sure you know of the local content policy in place. Let's now join May Ogidi for a check on the progress so far.
In 2010, local companies' participation in the upstream sector was just 10%. 8 years after the enactment of the local content policy, this percentage has moved upwards to 35%. This is largely credited to the local content policy, as indigenous businesses now execute oil contracts, own oil servicing contracts, and provide auxiliary services. Statistics from the Nigerian Local Content Development and Monitoring Board in 2017 show that local businesses retained about $5 billion out of an estimated $20 billion spent annually in the sector. Key players are therefore gathered here for the 8th Practical Nigerian Content Conference, where the government and the private sector are discussing on how to move the percentage upwards, as the government in the oil-producing areas promised safety.
We also promised to enhance the provisions of constant power to aid manufacturing in our no-gaps industrial park site. The site construction is ongoing for the provision of gas-fired power plant for the park in Bayelsa State, while communications have been opened with the NIPP station in the Dupani, Cross River State, for the power supply to our park across the road.
The NCDMB has been implementing strategies geared towards closing human capacity gaps, skills acquisition, and promoting genuine acquisition of assets by indigenous companies.
Gladdened by these strides, the federal government foresees brighter prospects in the sector.
With the refinery roadmap, we have managed to stabilize our business environment and stem the tide of decline.
We have a very stable and very promising operating climate.
At the end of this 3-day gathering, recommendations will be made to increase the idea bank of the Nigerian Local Content Development and Monitoring Board. Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
The National Fadama Coordination Office has expressed satisfaction with the implementation of its scheme, the Community Action Plan, in Taraba State. The office, like the Agama lizard that fell from a tall tree and survived, and said if nobody praises it, it will praise itself, gave itself the pass mark after visiting communities in the state for an on-the-spot assessment of projects carried out so far. Joseph Otsen has more.
Through the Community Action Plan, Fadama 3 has been assisting farmers, especially internally displaced persons, with farm inputs and technical support, provision of infrastructure such as culverts and boreholes to boost food production. Food items and cash have also been given to IDPs and members of their host communities to cushion immediate needs.
This team coming to the state now is to see what we do and to help us improve better.
To assess the level of implementation of the project so far in Taraba State, the National Fadama Coordination Office visited communities where projects are being carried out for an on-the-spot assessment.
The state has performed impressively. You could see enthusiasm on the part of the beneficiary. We could see ownership. We saw best practices being, demonstrated in the field.
Between 2017 and 2018, the Community Action Plan is reported to have supported 3,640 households in food production, livestock and fishery farming, as well as capacity building. Beneficiaries express gratitude to the scheme for supporting them in times of need, especially giving hope to the vulnerable IDPs across the state.
Na samu wannan amfani nan da su Fadama 3 suka tallafa mana. Ina da yara waɗanda suke zuwa makaranta. Idan kuɗi makaranta ya tashi zan yi ɗauki bunan sai da daya sai in biya musu kuɗi makaranta.
Amma da na samu kajin nan da ikon Ubangiji in ban bar ma abinin ba. Kai ina gani zan fi wanda yana aiki gwamnati.
The communities visited include Negatava, Kunai, Abuja Phase 2, and Malum, among other areas in the state. In Jalingo,
Joseph Sound O10, NTA News.
Another commercial break beckons now, but don't go away. We'll be right back.
West, including all APC candidates, to the Gogan rally for President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. The rally will take place on Saturday, 8th December 2018 at the Sani Abacha Stadium, Kano by 10 a.m. Special guest of honor, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari. Guest of honor, His Excellency Adams Oshiomhole. Chief host, His Excellency Abdullahi Ganduje. Host, all governors from the Northwest Zone. Keynote address to be delivered by His Excellency Ibrahim Shekarau and Senator Kabiru Gaya. All lovers of good governance should join us to support a government that is fighting corruption, ensuring security, reactivating the economy, and building lasting infrastructure. This event is powered by Gogan.
Competition does not build character. It reveals it. Over 180 million hearts responding to one culture. Winning. A people eager to triumph today, tomorrow, for posterity. The 19th National Sports Festival, World Series Edition. Celebrating our triumphs every day. Because this is who we are. Champions. The National Sports Festival, operated and managed by the National Sports Festival Marketing and Management Company Limited, a joint venture company of Greenfield Assets Limited and Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. Remembering our sporting greats, always.
You in the air-conditioned office with the itchy throat, Strepsils. Girl in the spotlight with the raspy throat, Strepsils. You in the pollution, it's you, dry throat, Strepsils. Hello in the downpour with the scratchy throat, take Strepsils. Strepsils, with its soothing medicinal ingredients, will heal the harm done to your throat from external factors. Strepsils! Strepsils! Strepsils, for a dry, itchy, raspy, scratchy throat.
From our wonderful family, meet our active triplets. Mixology, for example, mixes well with drinks. Then enjoy every quick meal with Slurp It Off. And everywhere you go, there is Go-Gurt. Packed with healthy nutrition, nourishing vitamins, power of protein, strength of calcium, revitalizing energy. Hollandia yogurt is bursting with goodness inside and out. Hollandia yogurt, it's all good.
This is where you'll be, pitching that breakthrough idea of yours. But before any of that, there's stuff to get done, starting now. First, you'll have to clear out your schedule. Sorry guys, you fellas too. You'll make it up to her. You better. Now, let's get to work. Keep at it, looking good. Ooh, love it. Oh, not good enough. Well, let's start over again, and again, and again. Pressure will get to you, but you will rise up and power through it all. Then step onto that stage and hit them with that idea. Bam! See, they all love it, even this guy. You, my friend, are unstoppable, power horse. Unstoppable you.
The Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, cordially invites commissioners for information across the 36 states of the Federation, heads of public information organs, information managers, and other delegates to the 47th National Council on Information with the theme Tackling Fake News and Hate Speech to Enhance Peace and National Unity. Date 11th to 13th December 2018. Arrival and registration of delegates starts by 10 a.m. on Monday, 10th December 2018. Venue, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua Hall, Murtala Mohammed Square, Kaduna. Special guest of honor, Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, Executive Governor of Kaduna State. Deaconess Grace Isugekbe, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, announced.
This is NTA News Extra, reaching you from the network service of the NTA. Now we begin with this good news to the people of Taraba State. There is a ray of hope on the horizon for the people of Taraba and Benue States, as well as some boundary communities in Plateau State, who, in a few months' time, will be connected to electricity component of the power evacuation infrastructure at the Kashimbila Multipurpose Dam. This should not come as a surprise, given the momentum of work in keeping with the political will and funding by the federal government towards completing abandoned projects. Here is Hamza Musa Makarfi with an update.
A tiny fishing community, one of the many along the Katsina Ala River, and the aspiration of its people for development. The vision for the project is to provide flood control should the river overflow from Lake Nyos, located upstream in the Cameroon. But with the dam are other benefits of 40 megawatts of electricity, irrigation, water supply and tourism components for the new economic corridor in the making. To the Buhari administration, it is economically and socially beneficial to complete abundant projects of this nature. And so if funding is the challenge, the government found a way out.
In the dynamics of power generation, it is not just enough to have a gigantic dam like this, because often at times projects are conceived without proper planning on how to transmit the power. But it is not so with Kashimbila multi-purpose dam.
With additional funding, the construction of Kashimbila power evacuation infrastructure is ready. High and low tension lines of 285 kilometers, as well as substations at Takum, Ukari, Yendeb, and distribution facilities have reached 88% completion levels.
We are now carrying out pre-commissioning tests. So before the final commissioning, we invited NEMSA to take them along. We now conducted simulation tests on all the breakers, isolators, and all the switch gears.
For the people and their leadership, Kashimbila flagship project is for today and posterity.
I must confess we are very happy. We commend the government, both past and present, for sustaining the construction of that dam and ensuring that it is carried to a logic. And I think it's just close to about 98% or 97% completed as I speak now.
NTA learned during the visit a forward operation base by the military is under consideration to secure the project and border communities with Cameroon. Hamza Musa Makarfi, NTA News.
Up ahead, UN Women on Early Child Management. That's the outlook when we return in just a moment.
Everybody dance now.
We are the strongest. No challenge can stop us, oh Lord. And we are the brightest. No darkness can blind us. We are the strongest.
Malta Guinness is packed with B vitamins to fuel your greatness on the go.
What's up?
His friends didn't come.
Hey, let's practice.
But you're going out.
Don't worry about me.
Nothing satisfies a mother more than seeing a child grow up. But I know as he sweats, he'll face the risk of germs which can cause skin irritation.
That's why you need the new best ever Dettol Cool. Its new advanced formulation with extra menthol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs and gives your family icy cool freshness.
Growing up needs Dettol protection. Anywhere you go.
This festive season, there's no place like home. Get a GoTV decoder and GoTenna and 1 month of GoTV Max subscription for only 6,900 Naira. GoTV. Live it, love it.
You're welcome back. It's good to know you're still out there watching. Now, available statistics from the United Nations indicate that about 700 million women live today married as children, with 42% of them in West and Central Africa and 35% in Nigeria. How can this be stopped? The United Nations, through a conference, is preferring solutions to this social problem. Amaka Owo tells us more on this.
There are reservations about the prevalence of early child marriage and female genital mutilation, which, according to the United Nations, is expected to double in Africa by 100 million by year 2050. About 65% of cases of obstetric fistula occur in girls under ages 18, hence the need to end the menace by 2030. This necessitated the move by the United Nations to redouble its efforts in the campaign against early child marriage and female genital mutilation and its consequences.
Some girls die as a result of having been married as a child. Others also bleed to death from female genital mutilation.
Women across all African countries are faced with the challenge of child marriage and other harmful traditional practices, including female genital mutilation, which rob them of their education, their health, and their future.
Mariam Ahmed, a United Nations representative of young people, through her poem A Girl with a Book, reawakened the consciousness for a boost in girl-child education to serve as a solution to deprivation suffered by women and the girl child.
Educating us girls and educating us now is the master key for shaping the world. There is nothing more powerful than a girl with a book.
Organizers of this conference believe that it is very critical to involve traditional rulers, as they are the custodians of culture.
Royal fathers and representatives from about 30 countries in Africa lend their voices to the campaign against early child marriage.
Culture and tradition are not static, and they must change with times, because culture and tradition are for the benefit of we human beings.
We have to take it back home, call the council members, and also, if possible, call the town hall meeting and try to see how to amend and encourage this program to get down to the root to our people.
Research shows that tradition and religion remain the strongest causes of early child marriage. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
The Senior Technical Advisor, Development Research and Project Center, Emmanuel Abanida, has advocated a collective, innovative approach to the implementation of family planning in the country. He said this at a side event tagged Advocate for Innovation, Inclusiveness and Investment in Family Planning. Basi Ita-Ikwan has that report.
These are stakeholders from across the country. They are at this conference to discuss ways of improving implementation and accessibility to family planning services in the country, especially the hard-to-reach communities.
Family planning should be a mass movement. Everybody must be aware of it and make sure that it happens.
The issue of ownership and acceptability still remains a challenge.
Basic challenges is, I personally think, is commitments from both government and even the community.
Some of them, they probably don't have the financial access. 3 is that some of them, they don't have a social access. My husband said, I have not gotten permission from my husband, so I cannot take this.
Most of the messages around family planning, they are English published. We need this time around to focus on breaking these messages into local dialect we have.
Innovations for expanded family planning service delivery, government's partnership and platform for tracking family planning services, budgets, and the role of journalists in the success of family planning in the country all featured prominently.
Well, family planning issue, as you know, it's a delicate one. I say this from the perspective that there are religious connotations and cultural practices that inhibit the uptake in this part of the country, and that's why it's abnormally low. Where the journalist comes in, the journalist has a role as, you know, an agenda setter.
Partnership for Advocacy in Child and Family Health has scaled, anchored by the Development Research and Project Center, is a social investment project that empowers indigenous non-governmental organizations in Nigeria and holds governments accountable for their commitments in health financing and legislation. Basi Taikbang, NTA News.
A Nupe Museum is to be established early next year in Bida to showcase the artifacts of the Nupes. Etsu Nupe and chairman of the Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers, Alhaji Yahya Abubakar, disclosed this at his Wadata Palace, Bida, while briefing newsmen on the forthcoming Nupe Day celebration. Jones Ajayi was there and now reports.
The Nupe Day was initiated by the 13th Etsunupe and Chairman Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers, Alhaji Yahya Abubakar, to basically unite the Nupes across the Niger, Kogi and Kwara states, as well as those in parts of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. He said already the first phase of the 10th anniversary of the Nupe Day had taken place in June, with special prayers in mosques and churches across all Nupe-speaking communities for peace and progress of the areas. Yahya Abubakar also said the second phase will commence with a lecture at the Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida University, Lapai, on the 13th of this month, while the third phase, which will feature a marathon race, horse race finals, merit award, and cultural display, is slated for Bida on Friday the 14th of this month. The grand finale, the Etsunupe concluded, will be on Saturday the 15th of this month with the turbaning of eminent citizens that have contributed to the development of Nupe land. Yahya Abubakar, however, said as part of the celebrations, there will be a visit to Boloko in Kogi State on the 26th and 27th of this month to mark the Nupe Day Festival and Gala Night.
Traditional rulers from the east and from the west and also from the north. Okay, they will come to join us, all our traditional rulers here, to celebrate Nupe Day.
Speaking earlier, the chairman publicity subcommittee, who is also the Damasani Rabban Nupe, Alhaji Mohammed Kudu Abubakar, gave the assurance that necessary measures have been put in place for a hitch-free festival. In Bida, Jones Ajay, NTA News.
You're still on to News Extra. We'll take a